These are the operations that could be performed on one-dimensional array. These are traversal, insertion, deletion, searching, sorting, and merging. Now let us see what is the traversal operation is. This is nothing but accessing each and every element, array element exactly once to do some operation. And today let us cover what is the algorithm for traversal. As we know that as per traversal is concerned, we need to access each and every element. So we should begin with the first array element, that is, let us start with the lower bound, that is 0, and we shall go up to upper bound, that is n minus 1. That's why we need to change the value of counter variable, starts from LB up to UB. That's why let us begin with the algorithm. Step number 1 says for LOC is a counter variable LB to UB, that is 0 to n minus 1. In the sense, we need to access each and every element. The elements are A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, and so on up to A of n minus 1. That's why we write LB to UB. And what we do inside the for loop, we process each and every element. So each and every element will be accessed starting from A of 0 up to A of n minus 1. That's why we do process A of LOC, end of for. Step number 2 is exit. Once the operation is done, we shall end the procedure, we shall end the operation, traversal operation. That's why we write exit. So with this operation, with this statement, will come out of the operation. Okay, this is the example for traversal in terms of coding. It says for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, c in A of I. The first statement is nothing but LOC is equal to LB to UB. See here I is equal to 0. We have set the value for LOC, lower bound, that will be 0. It can go up to UB. In the sense, it can go up to n minus 1. That's why I can be 0, it can be 1, it can be 2, it can go up to n minus 1. That's why it should be less than n. N minus 1 will be the last value, which will be less than n. And every time you need to increment I plus plus. In the algorithm, we need not mention I plus plus, that will automatically increment. As per statement is concerned, we write I plus plus. Right? 0 value becomes 1, 1 value becomes 2, it will be incremented by 1. And as per process is concerned, in the example, I have taken C in A of I. It can be C out A of I, it could be anything. So this is traversal algorithm. Okay, next operation as per array is concerned, it is nothing but searching, finding the location of an element in the array. So location can be 0, 1, 2, 3, it can be up to n minus 1. It cannot be beyond that. Right? As per searching is concerned, there are two types of searching. There are many algorithms we have, but as per our syllabus is concerned, we are covering two algorithms. One is linear search and another is binary search. Now let us see what is linear search. We are going to compare the element one by one from the beginning till the end. In the sense, we follow traversal. Through traversal, we are going to compare the element with the searching element. If the element is compared with if the searching element is compared with the array element, when it is true, we note the location. This is called as linear search. I'll give you one example. For example, I have 10 elements. Okay, let it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the element values. For example, I'm checking for the value 6. I'll start with A of 0, I'll compare with the searching element 6. Later I'll compare with A of 1, A of 2, and so on. As for the example, A of 5, that is 6, is searching element. So that is found at location number 5. I note that and I will stop the traversal because it is found at location 5. I need not search with the other elements. I'll stop there. And there is one disadvantage disadvantage as per linear search is concerned, that is, if the element does not present in the array and you will compare with each and every element, at the end of the searching, then only you are coming to know that that element does not exist. You will definitely, you are surely, you need to compare each and every element. That's why it will take a lot of time to compare. That's why there is one disadvantage of this. Comparing to binary search, this is ineffective. That's why normally we'll go with other algorithm. You can go with the binary search algorithm as well. Okay, let us read the algorithm. It says, step number 1 says location is equal to -1. So what is the meaning of this? When we begin with the algorithm, we assume that the searching element does not exist in the list, does not exist in the array. If it exists in the array, location value will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. It will be more than 0. As I told you, we need to assume that does not exist. That's why it should be less than 0. It can be any negative value. For simplicity, I will take it as -1. The main reason for taking LOC is equal to -1 is we are going to assume the element does not exist. If it exists, the location value change inside the for loop or inside the traversal. The step number 2 is regarding traversal. As we discussed in the previous slide, traversal statement is for p is equal to 0 to n-1. 0 is lower bound, n-1 is upper bound here. The same statement I'm going to take. As for process is concerned, I'm comparing the element, searching element with the array element. That's why for comparison, let me take if statement. So what I'm going to compare element with a of p. If a of p is equal to element, in case if it is true, I will note the location value. So location is equal to p. Right now, what is the current value of p? That value will be noted. And once the location is found, I need not search with other element because I'm already got the searching element. I will directly go to step number 3. It says you are going to compare one more thing. In case if the condition is false, if e of p is equal to element is false, we are going to execute end of loop. And later we'll increment the value of p, will change to 1, then later it will change to 2, and it can go up to n-1. When it is beyond n-1, end of for is executed, and it definitely will going to come for the statement step number 3. So what the step number 3 reads, you are going to compare the value of LOC. If LOC greater than or equal to 0, if the element is found at location number 0 or location number 1, location number 2 or location number 3, ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ location value will be either greater or equal to 0, we are going to print the value of LOC. In case it is the element does not exist, initially we have considered location value as -1, that holds good. The condition goes wrong. LOC -1 greater than or equal to 0 will be false. We are going to execute else part. It shows it will going to print search is unsuccessful. Step number 3 will be executed. Then after this, step number 4, exit. As I told you, you are going to terminate the operation. Let me take one example, live example in my slide. Right. Let me consider one array that may contain 3 number of elements. N is equal to 3. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2. Elements can be A of 0, A of 1, and A of 2. I have considered a few values for A of 0, A of 1, and A of 2 as well. All right. And for example, I'll take the searching element value ELE. Let me search for 15 in the array. Right. So let me begin with the algorithm. Step number 1. I'm going to set the value for LOC. LOC will be -1. Then I'm going to come for the step number 2. For loop, p is equal to 0 to n-1. Initially, I will initialize with the value 0 to the variable p. So p is equal to 0. I'm getting inside of the for loop. There is a comparison. If a of p is equal to element is 15. And a of p, a of 0 is equal to 10. So 15 is compared with 10. So 15 is not equal to 10, so it is false. End of if is going to be executed. Later I will increment the value of p. It is 0 now. It will be incremented to 1. So 1 is valid. Again comparison, we are comparing searching element 15 with a of p, that is a of 1. Is 15 is equal to 20? Again false. End of if. Right? Then p is going to be incremented. It will be incremented to 2. Right now it is 1. It will be incremented to 2. That is valid. P is equal to 2. That is valid. I'm getting inside of the for loop. Again, there is a comparison. Searching element 15 is compared with a of 2. So 15 is equal to 15. True. I'm getting inside of if statement. So what is there in if statement? I'm going to note the location value. Location is equal to p. As of now, location value is equal to -1. That is going to be changed to p. Now, what is the current value of p? That is 2. So location value is changed. So LOC is equal to p. It is changed to 2. Next statement is go to step number 3. I'm directly coming out of the for loop. What is step number 3 reads? I'm going to compare the value of LOC. So what is the value of LOC right now? It is 2. Absolutely, that is greater than 0. So if statement is true, so if condition is true, so if statement is going to be executed, it reads you are going to print the value of LOC. The search is successful. The element is found at location 2. See, 15 is found at location number 2. So searching is nothing but finding the location. We got the location. I'm going to print. As if statement is executed, else statement is going to be ignored. I'm directly jumping into step number 4, that is exit. I have already calculated or found the location value. I'm done with my operation. I'm nothing to do else. I'm going to terminate the operation. So step number 4 is going to be executed. That is exit. So this is about linear search algorithm. This is successful search. Now let us see regarding unsuccessful search with the same algorithm. Same array. Let me take n is equal to 3. Let it contain 3 elements. A of 0 is equal to 10, A of 1 is equal to 20, and A of 2 is equal to 15. Same thing. And let me change the searching element value. Let it be 30, which is not present in my array list. All right. Let me begin with the algorithm. LOC. I'm going to set the value for LOC is equal to -1. That means element does. Let me assume element does not exist. LOC is equal to -1. Let me come to step number 2. I'm going to fix the value for p. Let it be 0 at the beginning. So p is equal to 0. It will change to 1 and 2 later. Okay, p is equal to 0. That is valid. I'm getting inside of the for loop. It reads if a of p is equal to element. So element is 30. It is compared with the first value, first a of 0. That is 10. 30 is not equal to 10. It's false. Directly you will jump to end of it. Right? The first comparison is done. Now let me change the value of p. Let me go to access. Let me access the next element. That's why I'm changing the value of p. I'm traversing. Okay, a of p. Now p is equal to 1. P is changed to 1. 0 ittu 1 ಗೆ change ಆಗಿದೆ. 1 is also valid as per p is concerned. It can go up to n-1. It can go up to 2. Now comparison. If a of p is equal to element, searching element is 30. It is compared with a of 1, a of p, a of 1. 30 is compared with 20. Once again, that is false. Right? End of if. Second comparison is done. Later, I am going to change the value of p. I am going to increment the value of p. 1 is changed to 2. Again, 2 is also valid. It can go up to n-1. 2 is equal to n-1. That is valid. I'm getting inside of the for loop. Inside the for loop, I have a testing condition. Element is compared with a of p. Now, element 30 is compared with a of p, a of 2. A of 2 is 15. 30 is equal to 15. False again. End of if. Right? False again. End of if. P is going to be incremented. Right now it is 2. It is going to be incremented to 3. But according to our for loop, it can go up to n minus 1. Now 3 is beyond n minus 1. You are going to end the for loop. Directly jump to end of for. After this, I will go to step number 3. So what is there in step number 3? I am going to compare the value of LOC. Now what is the value of LOC? It was initially minus 1. And throughout the traversal, the comparison was false. If condition was false, that's why I have not made a modification to LOC. Initially it was minus 1 and still it is minus 1. And as per the step number 3, the condition going to false because minus 1 is not greater than or equal to 0. That's why it is false. The if statement is not going to execute. I'm going to come for the else part. So what is there in else part? You are going to print some error message, that is search is unsuccessful. Your searching element is not present in the array element. That's why I will execute the else part. It says search is unsuccessful. As per the if else is concerned, either you will execute the first part or you will execute the second part. As the condition is false, I will execute the second part. The second part I have included search is unsuccessful. Then step number 4, exit. Because I am done with my operation, right? I will terminate my operation. This is linear search algorithm. But as I told you, there is a disadvantage of linear search because unsuccessful search is known only at the end of the traversal. If you have 1000 elements, you come to know the search is unsuccessful only after 1000 comparisons, right? If you have 10,000 elements, you are going to come to a conclusion that search is unsuccessful only at the completion of 10,000 comparison. That is why it will take a lot of time to compare or a lot of time to come to a conclusion the element does not exist. That's why it is ineffective comparing to binary search. As per binary search algorithm is concerned, it will take less time to compare. Because as per efficiency of algorithm is concerned, we are going to check the worst case. Best case, it could be binary search could be in some examples binary search could be best. We can assume like it could be best, but we need to assume or we need to go for worst case. In any algorithm, we need to go for worst case. In worst case, we'll say linear search is not efficient comparing to binary search. In the next class, we'll see how the binary search operation is going to take place, and we need to see the algorithm of it. Okay, thank you.